Alrighty guys, welcome to your next assignment. We're going to do a little bit of work looking at surrealism portraits. So this week you are going to photograph portraits, and then you're going to take those portraits and edit them in a surrealism-like image. So we're going to look at surrealism, and then we're going to look at some examples of surrealism, and then I'm going to show you guys how to edit these photos. Alright, so here we go. Okay, surrealism portraits. So surrealism is realistic in content, realistic in space, realistic in depth, but it is not real. It is almost a dream state, almost a space where anything can happen. Okay? So imagine if you could jump into the collective unconscious, right? All the unconsciousness, the dream world of people, and you could get inside there and just look around and see what is happening, what is unfolding and is emerging in that dream state. So that's what we're going to kind of work with. So you're going to photograph and make your pictures look similar to these. There's really no limit to the direction you can take with this. It can be as unusual or as simple as you want, but it should not be solely stuck in realism. It should be surrealism. Alright, so here we go. So first example up here, obviously playing heavy with color. This is a very simple example where we have our model and we see a little bit of color in her eye, and then we have someone who is covered in paint. Opening up her eye, and then we've got this splash of color coming off of our model here. Now this could be a photograph printed and then a photograph of a hand on top of the photograph. Could be that. Lots of different ways you could interact with this. But playing with color splash. The paint tends to represent creativity. Her eye is the only thing in color on her face, so exploring the idea of creativity. Okay? This one's a little more classic surrealism. Obviously we're dealing with time. We've got books, we've got paper folded up to what might be a boat of sorts. We've got a clock on her head, we have some gauges on her eyes. We have a suitcase, probably representing travel of sorts. So kind of exploring the mind, things like that. We just have a single portrait, smack in the middle, and then we have this empty space. The most common symbol in surrealism is the desert, because the desert is quote-unquote empty. And it is a place where dreams and the unconscious can roam free in this desert scape where anything can form from the sand. That's kind of the concept. So we're creating that empty space by having the sky and the floor, but the sky and the floor just meet visually but aren't existing at the same time. They're working together, but they are not in the same space. You can tell because there's a lack of shadows. Okay? Love this one here. We've got a tree. We have leaves. Those are two different photos. We have what looks to be cracks in the forehead, maybe an egg look. We have a portrait. Let's say with the cracks, that's one. So we have the tree, leaves, the cracked, which is probably a mud of sorts. That's a photograph of that. Then your portrait, and then you have the landscape in the background. So we have 5 photos working together to create this illusion of surrealism. So this person's head is split open from this tree, and they're looking at this growth above their head. It doesn't have the classic desert that most surrealism has, but that's okay. Alright, again, now that we've moved beyond the popularity of surrealism, it kind of opens up that space to anything goes. So, for example, here we have the face. The face is empty, but we have this galaxy inside the head. And I think the galaxy better represents infinite possibility, infinite space. At the time when surrealism became popular, it was the desert. I think this works very, very well for surrealism. Notice we've got a little bit of glow effect down by the chin there. It's all things that we've learned in this class. One thing that's unique about this, we have a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a lip along the opening of the face. Okay, that makes it look deep, makes it look like it's removed and there's a galaxy inside this person's head. Okay, this one here, lots of photos. We've got the fake sunset, clouds, birds, sparkles, more clouds, splashes, probably a brush with splashes. We have the portrait. Inside the portrait we have trees on the chin and a grassy hill between the nose and the mouth, and what looks to maybe be mountains in the cheek and nose area. Over here, 10 different images. Okay. A lot is happening here. I love that they've segmented the head in pieces. We don't have any eyes in this particular one. A lot to do with weather and environment and space, and that head being a part of that. Okay. Here we have a before and after. Now again, we don't have the desert in the background. It's kind of a cloudy, foggy space. We have the word trust across the face in the bandana. We have chains. Now this person did not have the chains on his face, or the lock on his face, or the bandana on his face. None of that was there. That was all added in post-production in Photoshop. For this assignment, you guys can use all your own photos. You do have to take a portrait. It can be yourself, it can be somebody else. But you can use any images you want from the internet, so just keep that in mind. Okay. Here we go. We got more trees. We got two with butterflies. We have another one coming up with butterflies. Another face being opened up, and trees and plants coming out of this desire to escape into nature, maybe. Okay. Right here, kind of like the fantasy landscapes we did first semester. We've got hot air balloons. We've got the classic desert. We've actually seen this boardwalk before in other photos. And then we have this lady with angel wings. They're playing with some levitation. We have these clouds that are meeting the desert or the beach at the horizon line there. So it's a good one. Okay, this one here we got the frog and the princess. It's not really surrealism. It's kind of fairy tale, but the concept's the same. So we have grass. We have our model. We have our portrait. We have the little cartoon frog holding up flowers. We have trees, which are just repeat trees. They're being used multiple times. We have the clouds and the birds. So the process is the same. We're building this fake space, but the inspiration seems to be more fairy tale based. Okay? Real simple. We just have a face that is floating in a blank, empty space. We've got a cast shadow, and we have slices of the face that's kind of teetering like a sculpture. Definitely an interesting look here. Love this one. This is a little more expressive. This one's more about shape. So again, a lot of opening up the face, looking inside the face. Makes me uncomfortable, but makes for good imagery. Great portrait here, great lighting, and then just some creative use of paint merged onto this image. So a lot of post-production work. Not as symbolic as some of the other images. Okay, this guy here, nice little butterfly hat floating in space. Okay, this one here, okay. We kind of have his other personality. We have the real him, and maybe this is his unconscious him represented by this line drawing coming out of his space. Okay, octopi, an octopus. Those are his arms, right? Those are not tentacles. But we have a lady with presumably red hair, and then a red octopus on top of her head, and again floating around in that empty space. Ooh, this one's weird. This one's weird. We've got tons of symbolism. So we have the eyeball and the triangle. Some little Illuminati action. We've got the moon, the pink sky, kind of this nice 60s look to it. All these little, that might be the house that's up by Conifer, I'm not sure. We got some space stations. We got some ram horns. So a little bit of space aliens, devil worship, not really, and some Illuminati stuff. Ooh. Bizarre. No actual portrait. The portrait's gone. But this still counts. Okay? Love this one here. Again, more heads getting opened up. This time we have the galaxy. We have hands and clouds and sparkle. And we've got a cloud going across our model's face. We have space clouds, space sparkles, space hands, all that good stuff. Okay? So that's really where we are going with this. So what I want to do, I want to show you how to produce this image. And we're going to go from there. Okay? So follow along from here. I'm going to open up Photoshop. Okay. Take a look at this. All right. Put my head up here in the corner. Yeah. Maybe I'm over here. Oh, where am I at? Where am I going? I'll stay up here in the corner. So what I've got here, I've got a portrait. My daughter was doing my hair, and so that's what I look like there. So I've got a portrait. I was kind of going with end of times. I teach photography, so we're going to have cameras. I like the desert. I want to have this explosion in the desert. Things are ending. So what we've got here, we've got cameras, right? I teach photography. We've got my face, because I just found a picture off my phone. I did not take this in class. I've got security cameras, which have meaning applied to them. People are watching you. We've got one of the four horsemen of pestilence. We have the desert in the background, and we have a nuclear bomb here. So the first thing I did was just organize them kind of in a composition that I thought was interesting. I did some basic rough editing, so you guys didn't have to watch me do that. I just kind of cleared some of these backgrounds out, things like that. And now I'm going to go through and kind of try to merge all these together. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my face here, grab the eraser. We're going to go with a hard eraser. Actually, we're going to grab the selection tool. We're just going to delete my shirt out of here. Yeah, sure. Okay. Control D. Grab the eraser tool. So that background erased away. So again, this is similar to our fantasy landscapes. We need an environment for this, but we don't have to play by all the normal photography rules, kind of like our fantasy landscape. We can actually engage with this with a lot more freedom. So I'm just going to get rid of all this mess from my original photo here. Okay. Don't want that. Get a soft brush. Okay, and I chopped into my head there, but we're just going to let it roll, see what happens. Alright, so now I'm going to grab this lens image here, put that on top. Remember, the top layer is the front, the bottom layer is the back. I'm going to just see what happens if I change to blend mode. Okay. I don't like that one there. I'm going to grab that layer, a little closer to my eye there. Grab my eraser tool. Okay, I'm going to hide this. Grab this. I'm going to select my hair. Zoom in here. Oh. Tolerance made it 20. Okay, bring back this image, grab this, hit delete, cut some of that hair out, Control D, okay, eraser tool. Some of those hard edges, so you can pull my eyeball into this. Okay, camera lens there. We're going to grab our mushroom cloud. Let's see what we can get rid of here. Okay, Control D. We grab our mushroom cloud here, remove that back a little more. Actually, let's do this here. Control T, shrink it down. Check mark. Control B, our camera here. Back to this, take our Okay, that'll work. Grab the eraser tool. Opacity, put that down. It's going to blend it in a little bit. Okay. Now, I kind of want to make this horse head and image of pestilence, the camera. So I'm going to do this over here. Horse right there. Okay. Magic wand tool. Delete. Oh no. Okay, where's our camera? Nope. T. Eraser tool, 100%. I want that camera to be a little bit darker because it's attached to that horse's head. So we're going to go image, adjustments, brightness and contrast. We're going to okay. We're going to take this one here, we're going to do edit, puppet warp. That is good on its own. Puppet warp. Perspective warp is very, very cool. It's not fun. We're going to do some blending. Get a little bit of this green color out of this camera here. The camera. My brush tool there. Zoom in on the camera. Brush. Okay. Now I want to add a little bit more something to my face. It's just a little too easy here. So I'm going to grab, let's see here. Nope, that won't let me save it, so it's right here at the moment. It's not going to let me save that one. Right click, save in jazz, JPEG, good, mud, save. I might put a skull in there. I don't know, we'll find out. Let's start off with this though. Float it over this, drop it in. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. tiny little mud picture. Face like that, check mark, right click, rasterize, blend mode. That one. Take the opacity, turn it down a little bit. Not as much. And the eraser tool. Big camera here. Let's maybe take this camera and blend it a little bit. Oh. Okay, and now I think I might go through and do some more cameras around the face. Okay? But I will show you the final product when this is all said and done so that you don't have to sit here and watch me work on it. So that's the plan. You guys are going to take a picture of a face, portrait, make sure you have good lighting, good camera work, nice and clear, it's in focus. And then you're going to bring that into your Photoshop space and you're going to make a Surrealism portrait. So first I want you to just review Surrealism photography. And I want you to make a plan, creating a photo proposal. What are your ideas? What do you want to come up with? After you do that, you're going to go ahead, photograph your portraits, photograph your models, and then you're going to spend a couple days editing and designing your Surrealism portrait. So, super appreciate you guys following along. Can't wait to see what you guys make. Goodbye.